Hi, I'm Stephen Ham from Archery Supplies, and this is a new Fivics Skadi-TX riser. It's new for Fivics for 2023-2024, just been released. There's no left-handed ones made, so if you're left-handed, there's none of these for you. I want to show you this riser, tell you a bit about it, and then we'll compare it, and I'll talk about how it compares to other risers on the markets. Now, the first thing is I like the Fivics risers in general. I like the way the grip is, and I like the material. I get less shock with them. So they use a bit of a softer material, so less shocks pass through the riser. I don't know if it makes any difference. Basically, I did a review on a Fivics riser. I shot better with it, so I kept shooting it. So that was pretty much how I ended up shooting Fivics. And then Fivics sent me a riser, and some limbs. So this is the latest one. It hasn't been given to me. I'm going to show you what it looks like and what it comes with. It's more expensive. So the first thing is the price went up. What are you going to expect to pay for this? I'm going to get the numbers wrong. In Australia, 1,300 Australian dollars. In America, I think they sell for, I'm going to get the number wrong. But it's cheaper in Australia than in America. Okay, so in America, it sells for an equivalent of 1,600 Australian dollars, so it's significantly cheaper in Australia. So if you're in America and you want one of these, cheaper to buy it from me than off Lancaster. So I'm having that little plug, and that's the same with lots of bows. You know, I have people who buy stuff at Lancaster from Australia. I'm like, if you compared the prices, we're significantly cheaper. We're 64 cents in the dollar. So when you buy off Australia, you get 60. You times the Australian dollar by 64 cents, and then you take another 10% off for the taxes. So it's almost half price compared to the American dollar. So I checked this bow in America, and it sells for about $1,600, and in Europe, that's in my dollars, in Australian dollars, and here it's $1,300. So now, the normal bow, I'm shooting the Argon X, and I've shot the Titan, so the normal Fivics risers are going to be like a bit under $1,000, so this is about $300 more. It equates in price to the same price as the Win & Win ATF-X Deluxe, which is an interesting price comparison. So you've got to say which one is the better riser, which one do you prefer, and this was kind of interesting. So I'm going to sort of show you the riser. So it comes in a few colours. This is the red, and it looks a bit pinky. So in Fivics, they do look a bit pinky. They do a magenta as well, which is like a darker red. They do black. They do blue, because I've definitely got blue, black, and red. So I've got two reds, a blue, and a black in stock. I normally do green as well. So this is the riser. Now, some things about this. The grip feels pretty much the same as the other grip. It may feel a little bit narrower in the throat, but it's probably the same grip. So this here, so it's going to be a plate like the Hoyt, like the Win & Win, a plate which comes in there. And this one's a little bit different, so we're going to explain that. Sight holes, clicker points. Now, this here, Fivics has put tungsten weights in the back here to make the riser heavier beneath your hand. So when you hold the riser, you can see it balances better. A normal riser will be top heavy, so this is adding weight down the bottom. Now, my comment on this, I think it's a good thing. I haven't shot this riser. It just feels better in the hand to hold. With the Hoyt riser, they've got the ability to bolt on bare bow weights to the riser down here. I think this would be really good for Fivics to have bolt-on weights down below here to the riser, like the Hoyt, like Hoyt have done for bare bow shooters. Bare bow is such a growing part of the sport. I'm going to say it's almost half the number of recurve shooters are now bare bow. So you're missing half your market by not having a bare bow riser on the market. So if I was making suggestions to Fivics, which is basically what I'm doing in this video, I'd have the ability to add a weight down the bottom here to sort of bolt on, like your Gillo and all those. I look at what those companies are doing and have a bolt-on feature for this riser. So what Fivics have changed, these limb pockets in here, look, they're solid like stainless steel. It's like big, thick stainless steel. It's a push-pull mechanism now, bolts on the side here and a little bolt here. Now this to me looks more sturdy than anything I've seen before in a limb pocket. Often these are like built out of aluminium, and when people dry fire the bow and the string snaps, these will get broken. So saying that, I've had very few of them broken. I'm guessing about 2 of them or 3 of them, and they're generally the aluminium ones. So this I think is a good idea. The limb bolts are different now. So look at the limb bolts, whether you like it or not, I think it looks cool. Fair bit of adjustment from that point to that point for limbs. Weight adjustment, loosen off on the back. Now this is a little bit different to the way Hoyt works. This is a screw all the way through. With the Hoyt system, you can strip them out because it's only threaded through half the way. So what some people do is they unscrew them and then basically strip the screw out because it doesn't unscrew all the way. Right? On the Hoyts, you can't do that on the Fivics. Once again, if you're adjusting limb bolt pressures, do it without the limbs on the bow. Don't do it fully strung because you can strip out your limb bolts in here. This is soft aluminium, this is steel, and you can basically strip it out. So I can't tell you how many people have stripped them out, quite a few from doing that. But this looks nice, I like this feature. Now, this is cool, but to me it's not a big selling point. The riser looks good. I don't think it looks much different to the Argon X or the Titan. But this is different. 3 plates. Now with your Hoyt, your Win and Win, they have these plates too, and you're going, well, I've seen this before. Well, no, you haven't. With the Win and Win one, you can change your height up and down, and I think that's the same on the Hoyt, right? I think. This one, you move your plunger button backwards and forwards. And why you do this is for weak arrows or stiff arrows. So you move your plunger point, and it comes with instructions, which is good, and they're in English, so that's even a bonus. So it says, to stiffen the arrow, you move your arrow rest back, and to weaken the arrow, you move your arrow rest forward. So you've got your standard position in the middle. There's little dots on the bottom here, so that's your standard position. And then to stiffen the arrow, to stiffen a weak arrow. So if the arrow is coming through slightly weak, you move you put the back one on. So that's that one. You put that one on. So if the arrow is coming out weak, you move this back. So what it's doing is moving the plunger button. So that's the pressure point. So when an arrow flexes out of the bow, basically what they're saying is the different pressure points affect the way the bow tunes. Now tuning for me is a nightmare. I'm sort of going to say that. Because when you get a bow all set up and you're like all happy with it, and then you want to go up in strength, you've got to start the process again. You know, you've got to go, do I go stiffer arrows, what percentage limbs, and what I'm going to do. This gives you more adjustability. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, to me it's a good thing. So at the moment, my CA320 arrows, so that's basically an X10 arrow, are too stiff. So too stiff, so I can change the position with this. Now, ideally, I'd wind the limbs up. So I've only gone up 2 pounds in my limbs, and I've actually wound the limb bolts up a little bit. And I'd like to wind them up a little bit more. It's just I can't because I'm not strong enough. So the CA320s are a little bit too stiff, and my 600 spine arrows are a little bit too weak. So that's where I'm sort of at. This would be a solution for me. Normally you'd wind your limbs up or down to get them to be sort of spot on. And I'm going to say it still gets back to the archer. So everything gets back to the archer, because if I do good shots, they go in the middle. But if I do rubbish shots, they don't go so well. But this is new, 3 plates. So is this a selling feature? So $300 more. Now the ATF-X Deluxe is a nice bow from Win and Win. It's got dampeners. I haven't shot it, and I almost haven't shot it on purpose because I feel like if I shoot it, I may buy it. Then I might buy the Meta, which is $1,600. look, I really like shooting the Fivics. I really like the limbs. I like their accessories. I like the company, right? I like the stuff. It's all good quality. And so far, after selling Fivics for about 4 years, I've had 0 warranties. They've been bulletproof on all the price points, all the way through. So it's been great. Anyway, good company to deal with for me. So I like shooting them. I'm not saying Win and Win's not a good company to deal with, but I'm having success at the moment with Fivics. I'm doing well, so I'm gonna just stick with it a bit more. Skadi riser, I think this is good. I think for people it's going to confuse you. The average archer is going to go, which one do I use? I'm going to change my plunger button in and out. I'm going to change the tension on my plunger button, and then you can change these. So then you need another arrow rest, which is $50 to stick on to play further with all the ins and outs and all that sort of stuff. Look, it's a good thing. I just question whether it's too confusing, because I get confused, and I've been doing this for 40 years, and I've got a shop and I live archery. So every day it's archery, tuning people's bows, shooting every day, and I get confused. And I know archers in my club get confused with like tuning and stuff, and they've been state champions. So, but I think it's a good thing. I think this is good, but I think you're going to get confused instead of getting back to the basics of just shooting more arrows. So many people worry about the tune and worry about this and worry about the arrows, and basically their form's not great, and doesn't matter if they had a perfectly tuned bow, their form's not great and they vary too much in every shot. So Fivics, Skadi, look, I think it's a good thing. I think Fivics have made a step in the right direction. I'd like some dampeners on the bow, and I'd like the ability to fit bare bow weights to the riser for bare bow archers. That's all I would say about the Skadi. They've got new limbs, they've got new stabilizers. We're going to review the limbs, we're going to review the stabilizers shortly. So anyway, I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. Thanks for watching.